You are here on a very special day. Today we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the coming out episode of my sitcom.
A milestone day for Ellen.
Why was it necessary for you to come out, tell the public? Why was it necessary for the character to do so?
Because it's okay. Because it is okay.
And it's a first for America. Until Ellen, no other lead character had come out on TV.
I mean, why can't I just say the truth? I mean, be who I am. I'm 35 years old. I'm so afraid to tell people. I mean, Susan, I'm gay.
At the time, Ellen was both celebrated and scorned.
I am concerned that we are flaunting stuff.
God says it's wrong, it's in God's word.
But in the end, Ellen wouldn't change a thing. She says that moment led her to where she is today.
And Andy goes to...
Boy, it's hard to believe it's been 20 years since Ellen came out. So we're asking the question today, how far have we come since then?
So joining us to continue the conversation is Louise Chernin, President and CEO of the Greater Seattle Business Association. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
I know it's been a while, 20 years, but you watched that episode. What kind of impact did it have on you?
Well, if I try to remember back then, really people were moved, they were thrilled, they were emotional, they were joyous. It's so amazing to ever have the opportunity when you've been a marginalized community and often closeted in our community to actually see yourself reflected in popular media in a program that had somebody who was beloved by so many people being her authentic self. And that you could see part of yourself in that. I mean, so at times you were joyous, but at other times you were overwhelmed with emotion.
Take us from 20 years ago through today. It wasn't up until very recently that some fundamental rights for the LGBTQ community came about.
Right. Well, it took a very long time. If that was 1997, in just even the state of Washington, we did not in the state have sexual protections for those of sexual minorities, for LGBT folks until 2006. We introduced a bill, which was then called the Anderson-Murray bill, and finally passed. It took 29 years to pass that bill and include people from the LGBT community to be protected in employment, in housing, and credit. We still didn't have marriage equality at that time, but it took a very long time.
Here in Western Washington, we pride ourselves on being progressive. From the surface, it seems like we're doing great, at least relative to the rest of the country. Where could we improve?
Well, I think we do very well and certainly our city was ahead of the state. And our city often is in Seattle ahead of the state. And you know, finally, with the support of our elected officials and our amazing allies and the LGBT community, we did pass marriage equality. But you know, the world changes. Politics, especially post-election, has changed things. And there's an attempt to roll back civil rights for the LGBT community, most especially for our trans community. And so these bills are nationally being introduced across the country. Some people call them bathroom bills, but they're really bills to prevent people from being able to fully exercise what their rights should be under the law, whether it's accessing a bathroom or a gym facility or something based on the gender who they are. So it makes it a danger for them, but it also opens up discussion for fully looking at civil rights and saying, where does that stop and where can we roll it back? It's bad for people, it's the wrong thing to do, it makes us less safe, and economically it makes us the possible target of a boycott, and we saw what happened in North Carolina.
When we look at other forms of discrimination, I mean, a lot of the significant race laws were passed a long time ago, but we really haven't arrived there either, have we?
No.
How confident are you that we're going to make the necessary progress that we need on this issue?
Well, I think the one positive part that's come out of this election is that many communities are seeing that all marginalized communities have the same issue. Full equality for everybody means equality for everybody. You cannot have one part of our citizens or our community that doesn't access the law and be equal under the law. So I'm confident because I think I've never seen so much solidarity. You know, in the 70s there was the women's community, the Vietnam, anti-Vietnam War protesters, there was the civil rights community, the Black Power community, the women's liberty, everything was separate. Right now when you see these people, when people are out on the streets, they realize that we have to have equality for all, whether you're an immigrant, a member of the LGBT community, a person of color, someone with disabilities. Everyone is entitled to full access of everything that our society offers. So I have that kind of confidence that there is a lot more solidarity right now in all the civil rights movements.
Louise Chernin, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate your perspective on this 20-year milestone.
So this is something to celebrate and look back.
Thanks, Louise.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, something else we can celebrate today, Jen, is the, oh my God.